What's going on, everybody? Adam here with eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Kuat transfer on our 2017 Chevrolet Equinox. This is going to be able to go into your 2-inch hitch receiver and also an 1.25 inch. You can use a class 1 or higher, which is awesome. So the nice thing about this is we're going to be able to have 60 pounds per bike. Obviously our carbon fiber frame bike isn't that heavy, but it is going to be good for those two, as it has a wheel hook, and that's not going to have any contact with your frame. So go ahead and put whatever kind of bikes you want on there. We do want to make sure that the wheelbase is going to be within 50 inches. So anything beyond that, it's not really going to fit, but the kiddos bikes will fit. And then the diameter of our front wheel needs to be in between 18 and 29 inches. Again, with the kiddos bikes, it's going to work too. And of course, you're not going to put just a kiddos bike on here, but if you are going to have your bike on here, you can actually add on another one, and then the kiddos bike will go on there. This does have a tilting feature, which is awesome. So you don't have to remove the bike. You just have this little lever here. I did it with my arm, but you can really just do it with your foot. It's a lot easier. But then we can go ahead and lift open our back hatch, and we have full access. So if you just like to keep your bike rack here and keep your bike on just in case you have a little bit of extra time after running some errands or stuff, you can put all your groceries or all your bags or even just your riding gear in the back, and you don't have to worry about taking this off every time. That's always a plus, just because someone could always just run off with it when it's just sitting there, and they can probably ride a bike a little bit faster than you can run. So one thing about theft is we are going to have a bike cable that comes with this, and it's basically just going to wrap around your frame and just go in this little hole on the side, and then the locking core is going to lock it into place. Let's go ahead and take this bike off the rack. I always start with the back cradle. You just press in this little knob there, and I just like doing that just because it doesn't hold the bike upright. And then put a hand on your bike. We can press this little lever here, go up, slide out, and then we can remove the rack, or the bike from the rack. We can get a closer look at it too. One nice thing about the cradle back here is this is what kind of helps it get up to 50 inches in wheelbase, just because it will tilt like this. And of course the smaller ones, it's going to tilt like that. So pretty much any bike under 50 inches in wheelbase is going to work. And it is going to accept tire widths up to 3 inches. So not for your fat tire bikes, but you have a little notch for your road bikes and of course your thicker tired mountain bikes. Let's go ahead and fold this back in and do some measurements. One thing to note, when your bike is on here, we are going to have a little bit of interference with our backup camera. You might hear some sensors going off, but you'll still be able to kind of see through your bike. So it's not really that big of a deal. But from the bumper to the farthest most point, it's going to be about 23 inches. We can cut that down a little bit. Before I do that, the ground clearance from where your bike's going to sit, it's going to be about 15 inches. It's not really that low to the ground, so I don't think you'll have any issues bottoming out. If you have an aggressive driveway, you might want to maybe test it, but I don't think you have any issues with this car. And what we can do is take that same exact lever to fold it up, and then the farthest most point, it's going to be about 10.5 inches. So that's not a whole lot, and the camera is actually going to see over the rack pretty well. So I would say if you leave it on here and you don't have a bike on, you're not really going to have a lot of blockage to your rear view camera. So all in all, I would definitely recommend this bike rack. I like the fact that we can add it on, add another one on if your family's growing, or you have another friend that you met at the trails, or they just want to try out riding with you. Another thing about it is going to come with an anti-rattle system. So there's going to be a little key, and it's going to fit down here. It's a little Allen key, and it is going to be unique. So it is kind of an anti-theft device. So it's going to be extremely difficult for somebody to have that tool and steal it, but it is going to secure it directly to the hitch. As you can see, The bike rack moves as the car moves, so they are one unit. But that's pretty much it for a look at the Kuat Transfer on our 2017 Chevrolet Equinox.